all went outside, I was touching Alice. Just, half a minute or so. Here. The minutes, she sent the agenda. Her minutes, there was, I think it was in the text.
Oh, that's right.
That she spoke with Jane, and they could be combined for next month because she is out sick.
Yes. Okay. So let's.
Excavating. General fund.
Mm-hmm.
If at all possible, and it's able to pay through the rules, I can do a transfer. If not, it will say, $800.
Was that part of the grant?
That was like
Was that part of the grant that we haven't received yet?
I'll need to follow up.
One more question. The liquid fuel checks moved Brown restorations to 5286. What's that for? In the, what is that? In the dump truck? Little dump? Okay. Thank you.
Not usually the fuels, that is in the general fund. Because I just wanted to
Motion to approve the bills.
Fred.
19 calls for the month. There are gun raffle tickets available. Gun raffle is
September 6th.
thank you. Saturday, September 6th. There's a gun raffle. If anybody wants tickets, see member.
Thank you, Teresa. Mayor's report. Zoning officer's report. Joe was tied up another meeting. Solicitor's report.
A letter from Gregory Associates dated August 6, 2025, regarding Wayne County Housing Authority zoning application. Dear Mr. Eunice, please 3 copies of the amended conditional use application, amended zoning hearing board application for a variance filed by the Wayne County 060024. I have also enclosed true and correct copies of the check for the authority representing the original filing fee paid by the Wayne County Housing Authority at the time of filing the original application on or about February 25th, 2025. I trust that my provision of this corresponds to you, along with the enclosed application plural, is sufficient to file for the requested zoning relief on behalf of the authority, with the understanding that these matters will be listed on the September meeting agendas for both the Waymart Borough Council in relation to the conditional use application and the Waymart zoning hearing board for the application for the variance. If you have questions or concerns about subject to this correspondence, feel free to contact our office very truly yours. That's why on that there are two packets. One is a conditional use zoning application. It does not state amended conditional use zoning application. I know that Attorney Gregory is here. Is this application different than the original application? It is. So, are you okay with me calling this the amended conditional use zoning application and amending that?
I am.
Yolen's zoning hearing board application, is that also an amended zoning hearing board application?
Yes.
Do you have any problem with me writing amended before zoning amendments?
I do not.
So I'm going to look at 60 days to have a hearing on this, but if you don't mind, Attorney Gregory, Attorney Walter is also listed as here now. You're full of zoning hearing board now.
Well, we had a pending application with which they had agreed to continue that hearing.
Have you withdrawn that?
I have not.
Have you served them a copy of this amended one, Attorney Henry?
I have.
They're talking about a half hour ago, just doesn't know anything about.
Well, I believe we did provide him a copy of that. So,
Okay. Now,
If I'm,
when we had the hearing, you had withdrawn your request for conditional use before the Borough Council. So we had treated that matter as closed for the conditional use application based on your withdrawing.
well, it was my understanding that we were proceeding in an incorrect form. So,
Well, actually, we were in correct form, and then you announced during the hearing that we're not pursuing conditional use, we're only pursuing variance. And that's when we took a left turn and got the zoning hearing involved. But as far as the Borough Council was involved, you lost jurisdiction when you withdrew. And that's why it's switched over to the zoning hearing. So as far as the Borough concerned, it was dead. It was withdrawn.
well, that was my understanding of what you communicated to me at or after the hearing. But I'm not going to stand up and say, look, there was so we have not properly following the rules as they're identified both under the statute and the case law. We're asking for a statute, but yours only was for the recognition of a non-conforming use on an adjacent property to the property that was the subject of our application. We believe that that clearly constitutes an amendment to our original application, and that's why we're here to answer any questions. And quite frankly, as you know, Attorney Walter probably has more land use experience, certainly than in my office, probably more than anyone that I know. So he's indicated to me that based on how the county is set up with different boards which are dimensional, both in height primarily and the number of units in the facility. The only thing is which we need a variance, presuming the municipality approves this is an expansion of an existing non-conforming use of property that's been here since the early 1980s. So that's clearly set forth in the narrative that's attached to the application as an amended application. And we think we're in the proper procedure utilizing the proper vehicles to get before where we are.
So would you agree with me what you're requesting now is different from what you originally requested?
Yes.
Okay, so we have to go back and start from scratch basically, right?
I don't think there's any doubt that we intend on presenting testimony in support of that. So, and we would not rely on a transcript from any previous hearing. If that's, again, if you want to use that, I think we're open to that. We plan on presenting testimony in support of our arguments identified in our area that's attached to the application.
Okay.
If I may be sorry. I know about 2 weeks or so I don't know if that's already transpired before. I think it's correct. There was some confusion at one point. There was advice being by the parties who submitted this as one application. Because that direction. And I wasn't aware that I didn't against the planning commission, or does the planning commission exist?
I don't recall.
Well, only the state law says that in order to get conditional use approval, we first have to go to the municipal planning commission. I was involved with a matter last year where recognized the planning commission didn't really exist. That was put on record that it didn't exist, and so at least that procedural requirement was not becoming an issue. As it was now, part of the reason that I came here was to find out if in fact there is still a planning, or there is a planning commission which should review this before this board would hold a public hearing on the conditional use application of the town front. The variance, the change, quite frankly, is that the variances are the tail wagging the dog in the sense that they are dimensional. One does involve height, the other one involves not how many units in total, but how many units per building, which the ordinance has a limitation on that. So those things would have to be addressed, but certainly it should be addressed before the conditional use. Because the fact that the use of approval, those are removed. In fact, I'm not sure, and I appreciate what they're trying to do. I'm not sure that they can associate it with saying that, just from a pragmatic, they need to be separated. But I guess that's and the idea of September meeting is, I know that normally, at least my experience has been that the borough likes to hold the conditional use hearings the same night as your regular council meeting, which makes a lot of sense. It saves extra nights out or whatever. It could be whenever the council wants to do it within the time frames that you've indicated. The proposed.
I think it's fair for me to say that on behalf of Borough Council is that you've already put some money on these and transferred with, and now you're saying that all of that was for gone. And I would have to start from the beginning. And there's going to be new attorney fees, transfer fees. So you're coming in on Joe Hughes. Yes, what Joe Hughes doing is that's all I have. Roll back, very different with the hearing board of the variance. You didn't have this one.
No, we did not.
Okay. That's all I have.
So if there is a planning commission meeting, because it would make sense to, if we could establish a date for a hearing sometime in the next 60 days.
Wayne, make sure that plans here. Did you read plans, Wayne?
I did not.
When's the commission meeting?
Whenever they want.
Okay, well, the
Yeah.
state law says that they're supposed to review a conditional use before you have a public hearing.
Right.
So we'll be glad to make a presentation to them, but normally it's established when they meet. And usually, for example, I was at planning commission meeting in Palmyra Township at 4 o'clock today. They meet every second Tuesday of the month. So if you don't meet regularly, then we need to know when that is so we can attend.
They meet as is, because we don't have a lot of projects that require this. It seems all three of the last projects that required their use have all come from the same applicant, either directly or indirectly. And that's all been within the last year and a half. So that's up to them. We'll get them copies of everything. It'll be up to them when they want to meet.
Would they be able to let us know soon so we can, because we still have to fit within that 60-day period for them to review it and the hearing to be held. Okay.
So an application was submitted to Joe Eunice, and he denied it, and then it went through conditional use. Because from what I understand, Joe Eunice needs to receive an application, correct?
He did. This is addressed to him and he definitely got it. I think all the copies were dropped off.
He wouldn't deny conditional use. He doesn't have that authority. He would
No, I'm
deny.
not saying deny that, deny the zoning application as, it's clearly it's not zoned right for the, what you're trying to do, so it has to go in front of Joe first, the zoning application.
But he's the one that usually decides whether it's a permitted use or whether it's conditional use. If
That's
it's
what I'm asking,
conditional use,
so
then he starts that procedure, which is let the planning commission know that they should be seeing it at a meeting, and let the council know that there will have to be a meeting scheduled within a certain, hearing scheduled within a certain amount of time. That's the procedure. You're right, there are times where he has to deny something before, for example, you could go to the zoning hearing board, and you can go on an appeal, or because it's not allowed because of the variance requirements. But in this situation, the conditional use is not something he can deny, if that's what you apply for. And your website has a conditional use form, so that's what we submitted.
Okay, great, and Joe has that, he's abreast of it, so are we picking a date tonight, Chris?
We don't have to, no, we could let them know. But we
Yeah.
have 60 days from August 6th. It'll be good with this one.
Okay. Is that what you guys were here for? Is that what you're saying?
That was one of the reasons I wanted to be here. The other one was to sort out the planning commission situation. So if there is a I assume a 3 or whatever member board, then we can certainly appear before the planning commission, and we will. Normally you make a presentation and they make a recommendation to either deny it, approve it, or approve it with conditions. That's the standard procedure.
Okay.
Gentlemen, I just want to give you a fair heads up. You attached 11 letters of support, which I just view as hearsay. So I don't know that they're going to be admitted to the record unless when you come back, you come up with something that allows them.
Well, it's fine. We'll have,
Just give me the heads up.
if we need to have members here, we'll have them here.
Oh, Chris? Okay.
But so, do you have an idea of when we may hear from the planning commission as to when they would be available for a presentation?
You'd have to address that with them.
How do we reach them?
They're right behind you.
Well, I realize that, but I mean, is there a phone number or an email or?
Wait, yeah, but
Usually there's
I
a.
believe
Yeah.
your numbers are on the Waymart website.
Correct.
Everybody's number is on the Waymart website.
I think my email address as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, phone numbers and emails are on the website.
There's paper. Actually, I think there's, copies of
You
them
can have my
on
copy.
the refrigerator.
Here, you guys can have my copy.
I don't think they did. I don't know. Did you guys reach a date yet with Rich Henry's crew? Dave, you did? What's the date of that?
October
I
9th
believe
at
it's
5
October-
p.m.
October 9th.
October 9th at what time?
5 p.m. here.
5 p.m. here. Okay. And is that a regular meeting? No?
No.
I don't think it should be paired with a regular meeting. There's gonna be a lot of people asking questions.
It's a Thursday.
Between Borough Group and Borough Council, planning, there'll be a lot of people asking questions. So the Borough Council wanna get together on that date? Maybe we can have agreement, not now, we'll check with Dave about maybe combining the two.
October 9th, Maria,
Unless you guys wanna keep them separate.
5 o'clock.
Well, I think we need to. I think quite honestly, from the borough's point of view, you may not be prepared at the end of the hearing to render a decision. And that decision may impact on what the zoning hearing board is gonna do.
That's
To
what it
have
says,
them-
put them together, I don't think.
That's probably, a little bit cart before the horse. Have them judge something when they don't know what the borough's decided about whether the use is allowed or not is gonna be. For one thing, it might not be worth our time and theirs. And two, it may be that the borough's gonna impose a condition that would affect what the zoning hearing board's gonna decide.
Fair enough, so Chris will,
We have to have a hearing before October 5th. Which
Is
is
it
60
possible that
days.
September 9th, which is your next meeting, would work for conditions?
I don't know if we'll be able to, I don't know if we'll have time.
Okay,
Our meetings are at 6:30, I mean, if everyone can make it here by,
I think we,
it would have to be,
yeah, we can do it on a separate night.
Some don't get home until 5:30.
Probably a separate night.
The separate night might be easier for you guys, because yes, this is gonna take more than an hour.
Yeah, okay.
It has to be a Tuesday
Why does it have to be a Tuesday?
though. Because I got so many meetings. Of course, I don't have to use it.
So,
So I guess maybe we could put something around between
Yeah.
everybody as to their available dates, because it's good to have everybody here.
okay, let's do that.
We'll get back in touch with you, David.
Okay.
So it'll be sometime in September, probably not the 9th, but sometime between now and the end of the month, right?
For October. This is before the 5th.
Oh, before the 5th, that's true. That's,
Just
Sure.
what it is.
yeah, that's fine. And we'll contact Wayne,
Yeah.
and ask him to, to get it scheduled. That's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it
you.
very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Them too.
Have a good night.
Any other guests and citizens? Going once, going twice. Okay, correspondence.
There is a report from the BLS Cottage Hose. For the month of July, there were 76 dispatches, 65 responses, and 11 unavailable. 31 calls were in Waymart Borough, with 4 going to mutual aid. The second thing is something you might want to write down. The agricultural security areas 101. How is the resolution recorded? Do you know your role as a municipality? Do you know how to process an application? We welcome all municipal elected officials, secretaries, supervisors, and solicitors to attend a training session that'll take you through the ASA process led by the Department of Agriculture. It's Monday, September the 8th, 10 a.m. to 12 to noon at the Park Street Complex. And then it says register as soon as possible. So I don't know if anybody's interested in going to this, but there's inviting everyone. And that's the only things I could find to write down.
Thanks, Jane. Committee reports. Jane.
The first committee report I'm going to make tonight is concerning the Wayside Park. And I'd like to read this letter. Borough Council. Bids are received over the last 30 days for the Waymart Borough Wayside Park.
Jane, who's it from?
It's from Jason Wood from Woodland Design.
Thank you.
Bids were received over the last 30 days for the Waymart Borough Wayside Park Development Project, which includes recreational enhancements and renovations that will be open to the public at the existing park off South Street and State Route 296. Three bids were received for the project. B.T. Adams LLC for $110,350. Stefersky Paving Company Incorporated for $134,095. And from Rainford, I think that's the correct way to pronounce it. Rhineford, okay, Excavating Incorporated for $98,970. Our records indicate that the borough has received $90,000 from PA DCNR in a grant for the project, $10,000 from cash donations, $2,000 from the PHVAB grant, that's the Pennsylvania Mountains, and has allocated $50,000 in local share, $152,000 in total. To date, the borough has signed a contract for the professional services for $22,000, ordered Co-Star's purchased tables and trash cans for $6,668, purchased Co-Star playground equipment, Freddy fire truck, challenge play structure, and 2 animal climbing spring toys, resilient surfacing, for a total of $55,882, and signed a contract to have a Co-Star's vendor, Willow Playworks, install the play equipment and surfacing for $34,500, making a total of $117,050. That leaves approximately $34,950 left in the budget to construct the project as designed. After speaking with Rhineford Excavation and determining they are the lowest responsible bidder, we recommend the following bid award options. 1, make a motion to accept all bids as unsealed by the Woodland Design Associates Incorporated on July 18th, 2025. That's his first recommendation. The second is make a motion to award the project in full to Rhineford Excavation pending review by the borough solicitor. Please note that awarding this project will require additional money to pay the contractor the full amount on time. $66,020 additional is required. Once the project is awarded, the borough can reach out to PA DCNR and request an amendment for additional funds. It appears that they are able to provide up to $10,000 additional. The borough is also encouraged to reach out to the Community Foundation, county, the borough's capital budget, and others to ensure all matches are made and the correct money obtained is completing the project. Borough Council, after the project is awarded in full, can request a change order to deduct from Rhineford of one or a combination of the following items to help the borough meet the budget. $2,150 for the split rail fence installation. $10,000 to mill, repave, and paint the parking area that will remain. $5,200 for the plants specified. 3, reject all bids and obtain additional monies to bid next year or revise the project so that it comes to within budget. We do not recommend this option because pricing will likely remain as shown or increase. The play equipment has been purchased and the future digital sign and park phases are under consideration for funding and construction in the coming year. Thank you for your time. Please do not hesitate to reach out with any questions. Thank you, Jason, Jayson, Wood, RLA, and a lot of other signs at Woodland Design Associates. So anyway, Jason has met with Mr. Reinford, and he has agreed to deduct a number of things out of the bid so that we can earn enough money. Right now, I have another grant in for $30,000, plus I'm going to apply tomorrow for another grant for $40,000, and we are going to apply to the Wayne County Community Foundation also for another 5 or 10, plus the balloon for another 20,000. Hopefully, among all those, then we'll need the money that we need. So he's suggesting, one, to make a motion to accept all bids, and I was the only one that went online that day to watch it, the Zoom, and they opened them up at Woodland Design, and he's recommending that because he's willing to work with Mr. Reinford to make phase 1 work. Now, you might say, but that's a lot of extra money. That is, and we've committed ourselves to earning it. But if we don't accept it, then that screws up phase 2, which we've already applied for, and which is fully funded if they award us that money. But we need to have that determined. So we're asking you tonight to have a motion to accept these bids, this bid from Reinford, and work with him to deduct as much as we can out of phase 1 so that we have the things in the park for next year for 2026, our 175th anniversary. And we have pledged ourselves to raising the rest of this money that's over budget. If we don't, we'll buy as much as we possibly can, and of course taking in consideration ADA regulations. So I'm asking you kindly to have faith in what we're doing and accept all bids, and then make a motion to award the project in full to Reinford.
Can I ask a question first?
Sure.
How come we would order almost $49,000 worth of equipment before we pay a contractor? Like, and it's an honest, I'm just asking an honest question. Why would we order all this equipment if we don't have money to pay the contractor to actually do the work?
So part of the way that the grant works, because I called Jason about a portion of that, and in order, we can actually get additional monies. I think it's up to 10,000
Yes.
from the existing grant that we have.
Okay.
In order to do that, we have to award the project, even though it's over budget. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but he said that's the way that the grant works. We have to award it to the lowest responsible bidder, and then we can apply for an additional $10,000. So, and then also.
But we need $66,000.
So by getting the equipment, it looks like we've proceeded forward. Is that what you're saying?
The first.
Okay.
So, the balloon, that's out of Wayne Bank.
Yes. You spoke to them, right?
Yeah, I spoke to them. That grant, the application has to be in by October 15th.
So I'm
roughly.
gonna work on it tomorrow and try to get it done.
And then they award in November. And then all the other people that Jane reached out to.
Yeah, we already have that one we asked for 30,000 from Penn State.
Mm-hmm. So, and then part of the conversation that I have with Jason, how much of the credit can we get? So we award the project. Reinford already knows he's more than likely going to get a change order deduct. I think it was 15,000.
Yes.
So that 66 goes to,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Somewhat.
And then it's not guaranteed, but there's a good chance there's another 10,000 coming from the existing grant. So it's slowly chiseling away, so the 66,000 doesn't seem so unreachable. And then I think Jason, you can talk to Reinford about possibly making payments too, do you think?
Yes.
Like
He said they're willing to
progress
work with us on this whole thing and do it by piecemeal effect,
payments.
depending on the grants.
So this doesn't have to be paid all up front.
Oh, no.
No.
Because
No.
this, when you look at your money market account, $209,000, that's all you pretty much have. This has to take us through the winter,
Right.
you know, through next beginning of next tax season, basically.
Mhm.
And then that letter you read from him, Freddie the fire truck, the Challenger play structure, I thought you said it was like 30-some thousand total. The bill here is for $48,564. So I don't know.
$55,882.
That's the garbage cans and stuff
But
too, right?
it's also the installation, and the installation is what shocked me, how much it cost to install these things. Yeah, but there's unfortunately, there are all kinds of regulations, that the state requires, you know. We can't use wood mulch anymore, we have to use rubber mulch.
Rubber mulch.
Everything has to be X amount of feet away from something else, so that no child is hurt. And there's all kinds of regulations and very complicated.
So Rhineford doesn't install the equipment, you have to be certified to install the equipment, the playground equipment.
So this bill is just for the things.
Yes,
Wallingford is the contractor,
Mhm.
but not the contractor to install the equipment.
Rhineford comes in, does the demo work,
puts the sidewalks in,
yeah, takes the
puts,
existing
the
pavement out.
handicap parking.
And then we're gonna get another bill for the rubber mulch and installation.
Yes,
Okay. I just wanna make sure, like, I
Yeah.
got straight that we're within, and we're not gonna, like, go bankrupt.
if we have to, eventually we could borrow the money
Yeah.
and continue this route of getting more grants, and there's hundreds of grants out there.
Because I was just thinking too, like pessimistically, like what if we're not approved for the Penn State grant? What if
Yeah.
we're not approved for the balloon, you know?
That's the way it goes.
And then we're at impact, like right now, you know,
That's
budget.
why he's willing to work with us.
Okay.
He said if we don't get the money, he'll help us deduct more and change things.
Yeah, right now, the split rail fence, it's not really needed, right, it's a couple grand. The paving is in good shape, and I think there was $10,000 in there, they'll pave a small section out there, I don't know exactly what it was, but that's not really needed.
Okay, yeah,
So-
I just wanna make you guys, just so you're aware of like, you know, what if this doesn't happen, you know? It's my
No,
job
well,
to
believe
be
me, I don't mean to
pessimistic,
stick my
but-
neck out, I don't, I just believe that we can do it.
Okay.
But like everything, we have to work at it. So first, I need a motion to accept all bids as on seal by
Yeah.
Woodland Design on July the 18th, 2025.
Are we just making a motion to award it, or we have to do that one first?
We have to do that one first, and then the second one is to award it.
Okay.
Did you accept the 3 bids in a motion first? I think that's what he recommended.
Yeah,
Yes.
yep.
Well,
So I'll
I'll-
make a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'll make a
I was
motion to accept all the bids as unsealed by Woodland Design
I'll
on
second
July
it.
18th, 2025.
I'll second it.
Motion seconded by Teresa, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion passes.
all right, the second motion is to award the project in full to Rhineford Excavating, pending review by the Borough Solicitor.
I reviewed it.
Anyone want to make a motion?
I make a motion to award the bid in full to Rhineford Construction. Excavating.
Motion was made by Teresa,
I'll second it.
seconded by Shayna, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion passes.
Well, Jason gave me a real talking up to give me a lot of faith on this, and he feels that we can do it. And I thank all of you for having faith in me and Shane, and we're gonna try our very best to have a wonderful playground down here for our children, and especially to celebrate our special year next year.
I do have one more question.
Mhm.
Someone posted it in the Waymart group. They want to know where the duck is, and they want to know if the duck is coming back because their child really likes the duck.
Is that the one that was broken?
The spring, yes.
Spring was broke.
Yeah.
They love the duck and they miss it.
It's in the Borough garage.
He is in the Borough garage.
Still have
We need to
to do
buy-
that.
I think you can buy the spring separately.
Okay.
But I I'm not sure, we'll check on it.
So it's most likely going to come back as long as we can get a spring.
Yeah,
Okay.
because there's gonna be a couple other new spring toys too. Freddie, the fire truck, we thought was very appropriate, and we put something on designating the 100th anniversary of the fire company. It would be part of the celebration. Thank you very much, everybody, I appreciate this, and I will notify Jason that all ways are forward.
Is that it?
That's it. Now, the second thing is,
That's it for that one. So there's
Yeah.
another one. Okay.
now we wanna go and talk to, and this is yours, about the Bob Wilson Field. By the way, have you been down there? The grass is coming up beautifully, the fence is in, the lights are up, and we're coming into the final stretch.
They put down new seed too, because when I went by, there was a whole flock of pigeons right in the middle.
and it's growing with no rain too. Hasn't
Yeah.
been in 2 weeks. And they
Yeah,
planted
well,
it.
it's supposed to rain
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
So I was invited to a progress meeting. Unfortunately, it was at 6:30 this morning. So Pioneer and Joe Gelot, our engineer, architect on the project, and project manager, they had a progress meeting just to basically look at the grass and see how everything's progressing. And so that was at 6:30 this morning. It went for about an hour, about 2 hours maybe. And we just walked the field. There's some touch-up work to do. The Pioneer has to do some paving. Mello was down there today and yesterday pulling wires for all the lights. I don't know how long it'll take. Not very long. We're just about done. Let's see. The fence guy has to do the backstop yet. Finish the fencing on the batter's cages. Put the yellow warning on the fence in the outfield. It's really close to coming to an end here. So it's coming along
Is
well.
it foreseen to be ready for spring baseball?
Yeah, that should be good for spring.
Just so I can let them know.
Yeah.
That's why we're really thrilled to see the grass coming up, because we need to have that turf, you know.
Yeah, Pioneer got the infield is all in. They still have to put the bases in. Just a few things. Really.
Are we still putting up the net?
No.
No?
No. Mm-mm.
Uh-uh.
No, you know what I asked about that, and it wasn't in the
It wasn't
the bid, the base bid. It was an ad alternate. That we still have. There's one change order yet to be seen from the fence company, and last I talked to Joe, we had 40-some thousand left. So, you know, we haven't used up all the funds yet, because there was a small portion left for change orders. So, wherever there's a change order for bracing on the backstop. Because if it was gonna get braced against the building, the call box behind home plate, but the call box isn't going in, so they had to put separate bracing in. It's just sonotube, sink into the ground, fill with concrete, and put some posts up. So we haven't seen that change order yet. So,
And I thank you for not inviting me to the meeting.
yeah, I didn't think anybody else was going to go at 6:30. I was reluctant, to be honest with you.
I already had an hour and a half of work in,
Yeah.
God bless you.
Dave's half over.
right?
So anyway, it's going well.
So that's the progress on that, and the other things have been, almost every other thing else has been turned in for the reimbursement. I'm just waiting for the money to arrive from all the other bidders. So I'm not gonna talk about any more grants.
Okay.
So we'll go on to the second thing here. It's okay, I'm finished.
Now you're done?
Yeah, I've said it enough.
Budget and finance, Teresa.
I'd like to set up a meeting for us to start working on our budget for 2026 so that we are not into the end of November and the final hour and scrambling to get something together when we can do it now. So I'm looking at August 26th.
What day of the week?
It's a Tuesday at 6:30.
Did you say that again? I'm sorry.
August 26th at 6:30. And does that have to be advertised?
Yes.
Okay, so that gives us 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the public should be welcome to go.
And yes, public is welcome to attend.
You can't make it earlier than 6:30?
6?
So when is that other meeting gonna be then?
Conditional use?
Maria,
Oh,
when is that other meeting gonna be?
that's the 9th, right?
The
October 9th?
variance hearing, October 9th.
Okay, 5 PM?
Do you want to go 6 o'clock instead of 6:30?
I don't have to work anymore, so whatever you think.
Neither do I, so I'm good.
Sure, just rub it in. What's good? 6 is
The
good?
only hang up is, like I told you before, I have federal jury duty, and I don't know if I'm chosen, if that may carry into them, but I'll let you know.
Tell me you have
Okay.
no letters.
So it's, because we want Shelley to be here,
Yeah.
6 o'clock is better for you?
6, yeah.
Okay.
6:30, whatever anybody, whatever the majority, but.
So we'll do August 26th, 2025 at 6 o'clock, and Heather, if you're watching,
6 PM, not AM.
we need an ad.
There's no other meetings, right?
No.
Is
I
there
hope.
any
Yeah,
other?
I don't think so. We have to pick a meeting
Is there
for
anything
that.
else? Is there another?
I got meetings I got a meeting tomorrow night, I had a meeting last night, who knows?
Oh.
Okay,
I usually don't show up for the budget anyway.
No,
No,
it's
no.
usually just
You don't
us.
want to be bored to death.
You're right.
is that it, Teresa?
Heather's not
Um,
here usually.
Yeah, that's it, aside from, I'm waiting on Pima
Okay,
so that we can get, so that the project can get finished. I haven't heard anything yet.
Nothing came
Okay.
through.
No.
Mm-mm.
okay. Thank you, Teresa.
You're welcome.
Streets and roads, Shane. I don't have anything to report.
Yay.
I think I talked about it. Parks and Rec, Shayna.
If you're willing to help me with the celebration next year, I am going to start a Facebook group for like communication with everybody. My information is on the Borough website, so if you are interested, contact me.
Thank you, Shayna.
And the historical society definitely wants to work with you.
All right, don't worry, I got your name down.
Okay.
Utilities, AKA Street Light Chaser Don. No lights out?
There's a light, you know where, at the end of South Street, that hits, Homestead Road? The light is,
That's what they all do.
So there's 2 of them.
They're good at that.
Yeah,
There might be one at
Sure
the
are.
top of Center Street. I only go so far at 3, like 3:15 in the morning. I don't go up that way. There's lots of bears around.
Yes.
But I think there is one at the top of Center Street within those trees.
South Street, that's what I was gonna say for safety, Wayne. Last week, there was a huge bear plopped right in the middle of my front, backyard. So he had our garbage, Jeff went out, he went to pick up the garbage, there's 3 cubs in a tree,
Wow.
right above, 3 cubs, yeah.
That's great.
It was-
That's probably the same one that was up to Wayne Woodlands that the mom got trapped. Oh, they were so cute.
Wait, you better have bear
Season's
spray.
just around the corner.
Yep.
Like I said, my door's open if ever an emergency.
Mine too, just go in.
I had garbage in the back of my truck a few weeks ago, and I came out the next morning and there was paw prints all over the back of my truck. Luckily, it didn't jump up on top, 'cause I had a tonneau cover. He didn't rip that, or she. I'm not sure what it was.
There was actually a morning I was walking down Merwin and someone left their car door open.
Oh, no.
And I was afraid to close it because I didn't know if the bear opened it and it was sitting in the car, or if there was, because people have said that they open the cars and they'll go in for food. So I kind of left it open, and I sent them a message to let them know the door was
I
open.
videoed one at the end of South Street, the yellow house going down the hill. I got a nice video of them
Yeah.
opening the garbage can and knocking it over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hungry.
Yep, you can keep it up by you, Shell. Thanks. Keep it up that side.
Back to committee report, safety, Darren is absent, purchasing, Randy, he's also absent, unfinished business. So, we advertised for the ordinance amending the Waymart Borough zoning code permit for residential and commercial, solar farms. We had advertised for that, we have to vote them in tonight. So they are allowing, for large large-scale solar, farms as special exception use in the industrial zone and also in the residential solar, is allowed in residential zones as well. But it addresses it. Now we have that as part of our ordinance. We didn't have that before. It seems to be up and coming.
You're gonna let large-scale solar farms in residential?
No. There's two separate, we'll have to do two separate motions. So there's one for residential, and then the second one would be to allow large-scale solar farms as special exception use in the industrial zones.
And what was the amendment regarding residential?
Gosh, I can't remember the whole thing, but it does
In
state,
designated zoning districts.
yeah, it has to, you put it on your roof, or if you're gonna put it in your yard, there's certain setbacks, you know, so the first one is if we can have a motion for the residential solar energy ordinance. An ordinance amending.
There's two different ordinances
Yeah.
you're asking for.
Yeah, so I
Yes.
Should we read it?
two different motions.
Yeah.
So, the first motion would be, an ordinance amending the Waymart Borough zoning code permit to allow residential solar energy systems in designated zoning districts.
Do we have a number for it? Or do we know which?
There's no.
No, it's not numbered yet.
They'll have to do the number.
Okay, how do we word this? I make a motion.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna,
Oh, thank you.
thanks, Joe.
Y'all don't have them from the last meeting? Don't y'all have a book where everything is?
We need you to make us all a book like that, Shayna.
I have so much stuff, I'm overwhelmed.
Oh, Don's got it. So then it would be.
It would be just the first sentence you gotta read. You need a number though.
Oh, yeah, ordinance, do we have it written down over there?
But that-
No, that's resolutions.
Oh.
It's resolutions, yeah, there's no hands number.
I've lost track, even the quality of life, I never realized, what number was that? I don't know,
Would that have been the,
I think we've lost track because of the fact that some of these, ordinances are superseding ordinances we already have in the book. So, we'd have to look at the book and see what the last ordinance was in that, in the old book.
Shane, is that amending and
Yeah.
present ordinance? Maybe you
Yeah.
could just read what it's amending and now it's gonna be whatever the next section, D, E, or whatever.
Okay, well, I don't know where that's at, but, so this is an ordinance amending the Waymart Borough zoning code to permit residential solar energy systems in designated zoning districts. Should I read the whole thing?
That ordinance is number 2025.
Put on the record, yeah.
Okay, whereas the Borough of Waymart recognizes the importance of promoting renewable energy sources to enhance environmental sustainability, reduce reliance on non-renewable energy, and support the energy needs of residents, and whereas the Borough seeks to regulate the installation and use of residential solar energy systems to ensure compatibility with neighborhood aesthetic, safety, and land use objectives, and whereas the Borough desires to allow residential solar energy systems in all zoning districts except those designated as commercial or industrial to balance renewable energy development with the borough's economic and land use goals. And whereas this ordinance is enacted pursuant to the authority granted by the Pennsylvania Municipality Code, Planning Code Act 247 of 1968 as amended. Now therefore be it ordained and enacted by the Borough Council of Waymart Borough, Wayne County, Pennsylvania as follows. Section 1, title. This ordinance shall be known as the Waymart Borough Residential Solar Energy System Ordinance. Section 2, purpose. The purpose of this ordinance is to permit the installation and use of residential solar energy systems in all zoning districts except commercial and industrial zones. Establish standards to ensure that solar energy systems are installed in a manner that protects public health, safety, welfare, and the aesthetic character of the borough. Encourage the use of renewable energy while maintaining compatibility with surrounding land uses. Section 3, definitions. For the purpose of this ordinance, the following terms shall have the meaning set forth below. Residential solar energy system. A solar energy system including voltaic, there you go, panels, mounting structures, inverters, and associated equipment designed to provide energy primarily for on-site residential use. Building mounted solar energy system. Solar energy system affixed to the roof or walls of principal or accessory structure. Ground mounted energy system, a freestanding solar energy system installed directly on the ground. Commercial zoning district, any zoning district designated in the Waymart Borough zoning code as CG industrial zoning district, any zoning district designated in the Waymart Borough zoning code as I. Section 4, permitted use, allowed zones, residential solar energy system shall be permitted as an accessory use in all zoning districts of Waymart Borough, except in commercial and industrial zone districts as defined in the Waymart Borough zoning code. Prohibited uses, residential solar energy system shall not be permitted in commercial or industrial zoning districts, except where a residential use is pre-existing and non-conforming, subject to the requirements of this ordinance. Section 5, standards and requirements, residential solar energy system shall comply with the following standards. Permitting, a zoning permit and building permit shall be required for the installation of all residential solar energy systems. Applicants must submit a site plan showing the location of the solar energy system, setbacks, and compliance with this ordinance. Building mounted systems shall not extend beyond the roof line or exterior walls of the structures to which they are mounted, shall comply with applicable building codes, including wind and snow load requirements, shall not exceed the maximum height, building height for the zoning district. Man, this thing's just going on and on. Ground mounted systems shall be located in the rear or side yard of the property, shall comply with the accessory structure setback requirements of the zoning district, shall not exceed a height of 8 feet above the ground, shall not cover more than 10% of the lot area or 1,000 square feet, whichever is less. Glare and aesthetics. Solar panels shall be designed and oriented to minimize glare toward adjacent properties and public right-of-way. Systems shall be constructed of non-reflective materials or treated with anti-reflective coatings. Safety and maintenance. Systems shall comply with all applicable federal, state, and local codes, including the Pennsylvania Uniform Construction Code, UCC. Systems shall be maintained in good working order and removed if decommissioned or inoperative for more than 12 months. Utility connection. Systems connected to the public utility grid shall comply with all applicable regulations of the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission and utility provider. Historic properties. For properties designed as historic under local, state, or federal regulations, solar energy systems shall require approval from the Waymart Borough Historical Commission if applicable to ensure compatibility with historic preservation standards. Section 6, non-conforming uses. Residential solar energy systems installed on properties with pre-existing non-conforming residential uses in commercial or industrial zoning districts shall be permitted, provided they comply with the standards in Section 5 and obtain necessary permits. Section 7, application process. Applications for residential solar energy systems shall be submitted to the Waymart Borough Zoning Officer. The application shall include a completed zoning and building permit application form, a site plan showing the proposed location of the solar energy system, property lines, setbacks, and existing structures, manufacturer specifications and installation details for the solar energy system, proof of compliance with applicable utility and building codes. The zoning officer shall review the application for compliance with this ordinance, issue a decision within 30 days of receipt of a complete application. Section 8, violations and penalties. Any person, firm, or corporation violating any provision of this ordinance shall be subject to the penalties and enforcement procedures outlined in the Waymart Borough Zoning Code and the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code. Section 9, severability. If any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held invalid or unconstitutional, such decision shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 10, effective date. This ordinance shall take effect 5 days after its adoption by the Waymart Borough Council. Ordained and enacted this August, yeah, whatever. So there we go.
12th day of
Everybody's still awake.
The 12th day isn't
Of
it?
August
The 12th day
12th day
of August 2025. Okay.
Take a drink.
Yeah, somebody else can read the next one.
You read more than I did.
Yeah,
I
unfortunately.
make a motion to pass this ordinance concerning.
Okay.
We should
I'll
just-
second it.
Motion was made by Jane, seconded by Donnie.
You just need to get an ordinance number on that.
Yeah, I have to sign it, and the borough secretary has to sign it.
I have to go back and get.
We'll just have to, we'll just have to amend it and just make sure we make note of it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nays, abstentions.
Just ensure you can do it.
That's perfect.
And I thought, you volunteered.
Okay, anybody wanna read the next one?
Shannon.
Let me see how long it is.
I'll read
Here,
it.
give me,
It's a long one.
Okay.
One page left.
You got it?
Ordinance number 2025 we'll figure that out soon. An ordinance amending the Waymart Borough zoning ordinance to permit large-scale solar farms as a special exception use in the industrial I zone. Whereas the Borough of Waymart, Wayne County, Pennsylvania recognizes the value of renewable energy in promoting sustainability and economic development. And whereas large-scale solar farms can provide environmental and economic benefits when properly regulated and cited. And whereas the industrial I-zone is appropriate for large-scale energy facilities due to its infrastructure and limited residential use. And whereas the special exception process under the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code 53 PS 10101 ET sequence ensures case-by-case review to protect public health, safety, and welfare. And whereas the Waymart Borough Council seeks to balance renewable energy development with the preservation of community character and land use compatibility. Now, therefore, be it ordained and enacted by the Borough Council of Waymart Borough, Wayne County, Pennsylvania, as follows. Section 1, Amendment to Zoning Ordinance. The Waymart Borough Zoning Ordinance is hereby amended to include the following provisions. Large-scale solar farms. A large-scale solar farm defined as a ground-mounted solar energy system designed primarily to generate electricity for off-site sale or use occupying 5 acres or more shall be permitted in the industrial I-zone only by special exception, subject to the following standards and conditions. Application requirements. A detailed site plan prepared by a licensed engineer showing the location of solar panels, inverters, transformers, access roads, fencing, stormwater management facilities, and utility interconnections. A glare analysis certified by a qualified professional demonstrating no adverse impact on adjacent properties, public roadways, or air navigation. A stormwater management plan compliant with the Pennsylvania Stormwater Management Act, Act 167, and Waymart Borough's Stormwater Management Ordinance. A decommissioning plan including a financial security mechanism, e.g. bond or escrow account to cover the costs of removing this facility and restoring the site at the end of its useful life. Written confirmation from the local electric utility, such as PP&L Electric Utilities, verifying the feasibility of interconnection. Evidence of compliance with Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, DEP, regulations, including any required permits for wetlands, waterways, or erosion control. Setback and screening requirements. Solar panels, inverters, and related equipment shall be set back a minimum of 100 feet from all property lines and public rights-of-way. A landscape buffer of at least 50 feet consisting of evergreen trees or shrubs planted in staggered rows or a solid fence of at least 6 feet in height shall be provided along property lines adjacent to non-industrial zones or public roads to minimize visual impacts. Buffers shall be maintained for the life of the facility with dead or damaged plantings replaced within 90 days. Height restrictions. Solar panels shall not exceed 15 feet in height at maximum tilt. Environmental and safety standards. The facility shall comply with all federal, state, and local environmental regulations, including but not limited to the Pennsylvania Clean Streams Law, DEP's Chapter 102, Erosion and Sediment Control, and Chapter 105, Wetland and Stream Encroachment Regulations. The site shall avoid disturbance of prime agricultural soils as defined by the USDA to the maximum extent practicable. Perimeter fencing of at least 6 feet in height with locked gates shall be installed to prevent unauthorized access. Warning signs shall be posted at intervals of no more than 200 feet. No hazardous materials beyond those typically used in solar operations, example batteries, shall be stored on site without prior approval from the borough and DEP. Decommissioning. The operator shall remove all equipment, including panels, mounts, wiring, and foundations, and restore the site to its pre-development condition within 12 months of cessation of operations, defined as no electricity generation for 180 consecutive days. The decommissioning plan and financial security shall be updated every 5 years and submitted to the borough for approval. Financial security shall be maintained for the life of the facility and released only upon satisfactory completion of decommissioning. Public hearing and approval process. The Waymart Borough Zoning Hearing Board shall review the special exception application in a public hearing pursuant to Section 912.1 of the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code. The applicant shall demonstrate that the proposed facility will not adversely affect public health, safety, welfare, or community character. The Zoning Hearing Board may impose additional reasonable conditions to mitigate impacts such as increased setbacks, enhanced buffering, or traffic management plans. Compliance with other regulations. The facility shall comply with all applicable provisions of the Waymart Borough Zoning Ordinance, Subdivision and Land Development Ordinance, and other borough regulations not specifically amended herein. Prohibited locations. Large-scale solar farms shall not be permitted in any zoning district other than the industrial I zone. Section 2, definitions. The following definition shall be added to Article, we gotta fill that in, of the Waymart Borough zoning ordinance. Large-scale solar farm, a solar energy system consisting of ground-mounted solar panels and associated equipment occupying 5 acres or more, with the primary purpose of generating electricity for sale to a utility or offsite consumer. Section 3, severability. If any provision, sentence, clause, or section of this ordinance is declared invalid or unconstitutional by a court of competent jurisdiction, such invalidity shall not affect the remaining provisions, which shall continue in full force and effect. Section 4, repeal it. All ordinances or parts of ordinances inconsistent with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent of such inconsistency. Section 5, effective date. This ordinance shall take effect 5 days after its adoption as provided by Section 3301.3 of the Pennsylvania Borough Code. Adopted and enacted this 12th day of August 2025 by the Borough Council of Waymart Borough, Wayne County, Pennsylvania.
Good job. Okay, a motion to enact the ordinance.
Make a motion to enact the ordinance, amending the Waymart Borough zoning ordinance.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Don, seconded by Teresa. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nays, abstentions. Last but not least, with any luck, Joe has sent out a new data center ordinance that we need to, this one we need to advertise for, and then read it and vote on it next meeting. So, because Joe is zoning officer in other municipalities, he's on his game, he sees a lot of other, he sees solar farms popping up, now he sees data centers popping up, and we need to prepare for this stuff, so he's preparing us for these new up and coming industries. So this one is an ordinance amending the Waymart Borough zoning ordinance to establish regulations for data centers as a conditional use in the industrial manufacturing zoning district, providing definitions, standards, and procedures to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the borough. Whereas the Borough Council of Waymart Borough, Wayne County, Pennsylvania, recognizes the growing demand for data centers due to increased reliance on technology and data storage. So it's very similar to the solar farms, but it keeps it in the industrial zones. So now we just have to advertise this, vote to advertise for the data centers ordinance.
I make a motion to advertise the new data center ordinance.
I second it.
Motion made by Teresa, seconded by Shayna. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion passes. Anything else, folks?
We gotta mention the right to know request.
Oh.
We got,
Yeah, right.
Good call.
I'll address it, we got a right to know request from Blue Ridge Cable. They wanted to copy the transcript from that first conditional use hearing we had here. Told them I'd be happy to give it to them, but Rich Henry has it. We gave that to Rich Henry.
So,
I'm gonna check and see if I have it in an email, and if I have it, I'll just forward it to him. And I'd like to congratulate Waymart on going woke, you tree-hugging liberals, with that last ordinance, okay?
so the standard right to know law request form submitted 8/6/2025 to the Waymart Borough. Full name, Preston J. Perler, is that right? Company, BRC TV 13 News.
It's over in Milford.
Out of Melbourne.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
he called me on the phone.
Did they come up this far?
Yeah, because they go to Huntsville.
Oh,
And remember, they just bought, Blue Ridge just bought,
oh.
Did they buy Adams up?
yeah, they
They
bought
bought
Adams
Adams,
now. Yeah, so they
It's-
own Adams now.
It says, please send a response via email.
Usually in 5 days or.
I have a question.
I told him where it was, I told him we didn't have it, I told him Attorney Richard Henry has it, and you're free to get it from the zoning hearing board. So I sent him a letter back, said I'd check if I have it on email, if it was emailed to me, but, I think I had Melinda, I said, just email it out, I think she emailed out the wrong one, so. We'll get it, Phil. Nothing to hide.
His email is in here, pearler@brctv13.com. Mailing address 112 Bennett Ave, Milford, PA 18337, telephone 917-721-6233. Records requested. Provide as much detail as possible, including subject matter, time frame, and type of record. Please provide transcript of hearing with Wayne County Housing Authority dated 4/15/2025. So that was the first.
I have a question of the solicitor. In the past, when we had a request that were there were so many pages they wanted, our solicitor at that time suggested that if it costs too much, then we can request them to come in and read it.
I told him he was free to get it from the court reporter.
Okay.
That we had no objection to him getting it from her. It's not fair. This is what she does for a living. She types this stuff up. We should probably have to buy it. But we don't want any headaches. If I have it on email, I'll forward it to him.
And things, other things they need, should we put on the record how much we charge or pay for that kind of stuff?
If it's PDF, you can't.
If it's an email, it's just a hit. It's not worth it.
Okay.
It's not worth it. Anyway, I did answer with a letter saying that Attorney Richard Henry's got it because he lost jurisdiction. And now that they admit that that's withdrawn, that's a whole new action. I don't know what relevance, but he can have it. It's okay. I'd like the record to reflect that I just handed our planning commission copies of the applications for the conditional use only. I didn't give you copies for the variance request because that goes to the zoning hearing board.
Is that the same copy that Joe Eunice provided you?
Yes,
Okay, so I have a copy of that now.
okay.
Anything else before we drop the gavel? Motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Teresa
I
made a motion.
heard it. Hallelujah.
All in favor?
You got it.
Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion passes.